feel like that I'm capable of doing what I'm doing. And if I were not able to do some of the things in the brain fitness program, I would have to question whether I need to be out there flying airplanes.
Dr. Merzenich, we were talking earlier about how I've been using the program. I think I can remember names better. It seems like I can remember phone numbers. But how do we know that this program really engages the brain and really is making changes?
Well, actually, Joe, you can see those changes expressed not just in your behavior, but you can see them expressed in the brain itself. And one of the wonderful things about contemporary brain science is that we can actually look in the brains of humans and we can document their status. You could say before training and their status as you progress in training, and we can actually see them change in a rejuvenating direction.
Mike, I've been doing these exercises, and a lot of them are very different, and frankly, a lot of them don't make a whole lot of sense to me and how they all fit together. Can you tell us more about that?
So of these 6 exercises, the most elemental is called high and low. You probably remember high and low, right?
Absolutely.
And the high and low program is all about driving the performance speed of the brain. Tell Us Apart is the second exercise in this program, and it gives the brain practice at making the distinctions in your receiving speech in fast forms that are the most difficult for you to get. In Match It, the third exercise, we're actually trying to generalize the fine distinctions that you've learned in the first 2 programs. In Sound Replay, we're pushing the brain to reconstruct sound in serial order. In Listen and Do, we're actually driving you to replay instructions of increasing length and complexity. And finally, in Storyteller, you're actually listening to a continuous narrative, and you're making distinctions in the continuous narrative.
Now, I can tell you that from my own personal experience, one, it really is a workout. I mean, you feel like you've worked hard after you've done it, and you also get very sort of self-competitive with yourself, which I just find really fascinating. But, you know, in the program, you mentioned the whole notion of brain span versus lifespan. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Well, actually, Joe, a current average lifespan for an American is about 78 years. And if you live to retirement, which most of us do, then you can expect to live until you're about 85. Now, the problem with that is that most individuals, the majority of individuals at age 85 are struggling to maintain their independence. And in fact, about more than half of us at age 85, if we live that long, are really non-compos mentis. We're really not able to sustain our independence, and many of us have already fallen into senility, into Alzheimer's disease. Now, it's a tremendous challenge for us as a country, as a people, as scientists, to try to see how we can improve brain health on a level in which we can substantially change that picture. I mean, what we're trying to do is to get the majority of people in their brain span to last as long as their body lasts. And that's a great goal of what we're trying to accomplish.
How does the exercise that you do with your brain improve your mood and your outlook on life?
One really important aspect of it, Joe, is that older people basically lose confidence. There's a progressive loss of how confident you feel about how you're doing in life and how you're doing on your job. And this occurs substantially because in young life, most of the things you hear, you remember. Most of the important things you see, you remember. Most of the things you do, you're satisfied with your performance of. And when you're older, most of the things you do, you're not satisfied because you have the model of how you did it when you were younger.
Wow.
And then most of the things you hear and see, you can't remember. The majority of things are lost to you. And you know it. And knowing it results in a loss of confidence. So basically what we try to do is to rebuild that confidence. We can do that by having a person, under difficult circumstances, do the right thing and get the answer right, you could say 1,000 times a day. And that has a big impact on how well you feel about how you're doing and how confident you are in your operations.